Welcome to this webinar on the postgraduate teaching programs here at the Welsh School of Architecture. My name is Wassim Jabi. I am the Director of Admissions, as well as the program lead on the MSc on Computational Methods in Architecture. We're here with Juliet and Vidyaah to tell you a little bit more about these programs, and I will hand to them in a second. I just want to tell you about Cardiff City in general and about the school. First of all, about Cardiff. Cardiff, as you know, is the capital of Wales, and therefore it has a really right mix of being not too big in size, but also have a lot going on. I remember the head of school also saying that it is a very walkable and cyclable city. It is really good if you are into cycling. You can go from one side to the other in about an hour. It's pretty flat. It's filled with beautiful parks. So I would encourage you to learn more about Cardiff, as well as its nightlife and music scene, which I hear are very, very good. The Welsh School of Architecture has a long history. I think we've been teaching for about 100 years. And is it 100 years? Mm-hmm. That's good. Yes, I am right in that.
1920.
1920. And it's always ranked quite high and has a very, very good reputation, a solid reputation. We are not showy, but we are really, really good at rigorous at what we do. We're about 600 undergraduates, I would say. The numbers fluctuate, about half female, half male. So, and it's a very, very diverse school. We have students and professors like myself from all over the world. So I would encourage you to take a look at the website, find out more about our school, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email us. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Juliet to tell us more about the MSc programs.
Thank you very much, Wassim. So I'm Juliet Davis, and I'm Director of Postgraduate Teaching in the school. And I'm going to just give you a flavour of the different postgraduate programs that we offer and of our postgraduate teaching community as well. If you can move forward one. So as you can see, and this slide basically describes that. If we can have the slide, please.
Yeah, it just.
The
camera's not there as well, so it's still on, it's just not showing.
This side?
Okay. Okay, so our master's programs provide students who may have come through through our undergraduate program, or may have also have come from practice with specialist knowledge related to important aspects of and issues in contemporary design and practice. And I think that's a really key thing about our PGT programs, that they're really for people who want to develop a particular area of research and knowledge, going into it in depth, whereas our undergraduate program is obviously quite broad brush and covers a number of different areas that are relevant to practice in architecture. And our portfolio reflects the different kinds of expertise that we have in the school. We're a really diverse research community, which is very exciting. We have people that are experts in architectural design, in building performance, in construction law, design liability, computational methods, environmental design, sustainable building conservation, and urban design. And of course, feeding into those are other areas such as architectural and urban history and theory. And then this is a key statement that we often share, that our students leave us with an inquiring attitude, the ability to tackle complex problems in the built environment. We try to leave them with a valuable skill set to draw on and build on in the future, as well as an enduring connection to the school, the university, and the city of Cardiff. So we have 9 programs overall, and I'm not going to dwell on this slide too much because we'll go into just a very brief overview of each of the programs now. But they cover, they include urban design at MA level, and as one of a number of different design-focused programs. And then we have a suite of programs that specialize broadly in architectural science, and we have programs that focus on architectural practice and design administration. So to just go through each of those in order, the first one being MA Architectural Design. This is a relatively new course in the school. It's aimed at students who are looking for a design-focused postgraduate program, but not necessarily to have a Part 2, which is the Royal Institute of British Architects qualification, following on from Part 1 qualification, but to have a more generalised architectural design masters. It's run by Dr. Federico Wolf. So if you're interested, you can look him up and see what he's done in terms of teaching and research over the last few years. Yeah, that's just an image, just trying to capture the vibrancy of the course, which involves a number of different kinds of experiences, including field trips and lots of working together in the studio here in the school. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but it involves an exciting range of modules, some of which are core and others of which are optional, giving students a great deal of flexibility and the capacity to delve into other areas of research expertise in the school, so really to orchestrate their own learning. And then the next two slides are just going to be some examples of student work. So the students have the capacity to explore a particular project and theme over the course of the year through these different modules, supported by the optional courses that they do, and to really dig deep into a site, into a set of problems, and to use design actually as a form of research, and supported by other kinds of research that they do over the course of their project. And then the next slide is just part of that same project. Okay. And then the next one is the Masters in Design Administration, which is also a fairly new course, very different from the one that I've just described. It's aimed at design professionals that might include architects, but also engineers, surveyors, contractors, developers, clients, procurers of buildings, management professionals. And as the course director herself says, it aims to equip students with the expertise necessary for the successful administration and management of the design process in the procurement of buildings. So it's for people who want to dig deeper into the area in which they're already immersed in practice. It focuses on the management of design. There are a number of different teaching methods that are used that include online seminars, that include face-to-face teaching, giving students a great deal of flexibility in terms of where they do their learning, as well as in terms of how they might combine it with practice, I mean. Yeah, and the course involves 6 different modules, which are as set out in this slide. The MA in Urban Design is a long-established course. One of the most distinctive features of it is that it's taught across 2 different schools, one being our school, Architecture, and the other being Geography and Planning. And this gives students a great opportunity to be quite interdisciplinary in their learning, and indeed to learn from people who come from different research backgrounds and disciplinary backgrounds. It's led by Professor Wassim Jabi. Then we come into the MSc in Advanced Building Performance Evaluation, which again is a fairly new course. And if we can move a slide along, it draws on internationally recognized and long-established expertise on energy, environment, and socio-technical research at the school. There's really 40 years plus of experience in this area, so students are able to benefit from that. It's led by Dr. Gabriela Zapata-Lancaster, but also has a number of different contributors from across that research area in the school. And it responds to the global drive to address the performance of existing buildings. But one of the exciting things about it is that it integrates interdisciplinary perspectives on the evaluation of buildings, and it uses live projects to apply knowledge and skills. the MSc Computational Methods in Architecture, you should really describe. This is the course that's run by Wassim, sitting here beside me. It provides students with knowledge and skills to discover innovative computational methods for use in the creative and design industries. Students are able to benefit from the equipment we already have in the school, which is also increasing and improving all the time. Its focus is on form finding using parametric and generative methods. There's a lot of emphasis on rigorous analysis using simulation tools, and then on hands-on work through understanding the logic of digital fabrication. And then I'm not going to go into that in a great deal of detail, but there are a lot of reasons why to study this course. It's very exciting, and if we can move on to the next slide, and students are able to produce this sort of work. Thank you. Okay, so the next program is the MSc in Environmental Design, and this is a program that we've had established in the school for some 30 years. It's for those with interest in learning how to develop strategies for designing comfortable, healthy and sustainable buildings. So it integrates a number of different ways of understanding sustainability, a really kind of holistic approach to sustainability. There's a lot of research in the school that supports this course. It's also accredited by the Chartered Institute of Building Services Engineers, and it has provided a practical grounding in environmental design for built environment professionals since its establishment. Can you go back a slide?
No.
No, forward a slide. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. It's like all of our courses, it's delivered in 2 stages. But I think the key point here is that students leave the course able to work as environmental designers, so with a particular skill set that they can bring directly into their field of practice or take into research, as the case may be. The MSc in Sustainable Building Conservation is the next one, and that's an IHBC accredited and REBA approved master's degree. And like many of our courses, in fact, there are part-time and full-time options of study. It's unique in emphasizing sustainability within the historic context. It offers new career paths for experienced professionals across the sector, as well as new graduates seeking to develop a specific area of expertise. It's run by Dr. Oriel Prizeman. These are the modules in this case, which focus on different aspects of conservation and that involve dissertation work, that involve case studies. There's an opportunity to go on field study visits and to understand what the conservator's role is. The MSc in Sustainable Mega Buildings is one of the few courses in the world, and the first MSc of its kind, that prepares students for professional excellence in applying the tools and skills of sustainable design and planning to mega buildings. So it has an emphasis on a particular scale of building, a scale of building that is increasingly prevalent across the world. So the expectation is that it appeals to students who are already in the area of architecture and urban design, but who have been potentially drawn into this kind of construction and wish to explore the significance of this scale of building for sustainability and sustainable development. Yes, like all of our courses, we have students who testify to the value of the learning that they have received with us. It's run by Professor Phil Jones, who has a very long established reputation in the area of sustainable design and architectural science, and by Dr. Esha Latif. So finally, last but not least, the PGDip in Architecture Professional Practice. Well, this is different from all of our courses in the sense that it follows on from our RIBA, ARB accredited courses, which include our BSc Architectural Studies and our MArch, Master of Architecture, and it is the gateway to the Part 3 qualification with the RIBA. It, again, like the Masters in Design Administration, which I talked about earlier, it offers students a great deal of flexibility. They come to the school for a certain period of time where they're able to benefit from face-to-face teaching, but to fit that in around the practice work that they will be doing alongside. And this is a student testimony that, just to finish off with on a very positive note, says, "I want to thank you both for all the help and support throughout the course. It would not have been possible without your help, advice, feedback. So thank you. I found the course and the content invaluable for the learning outcomes, the Part 3 interview, life in the office, and I'm sure continuing into the future. I would not hesitate to recommend the school." So in terms of finding out more, for anyone who's interested, there's a lot of detail about all our courses on our course finder pages through the university website. Please do also look at our school website, which is a work in progress. We often add to it. There's portfolio work there to see. There's information about each of the courses and who runs them. And that also provides the information needed to look up particular course leaders and other people who teach on the course to find out about their research and what they may be able to help you with in terms of the interests and research areas that you may be building yourself.
Great, so I'm Vidyaah, and I'm actually from Malaysia, and I joined the school around 5 years ago through the undergraduate and into the graduate program. Currently, I am a final year MArch 2 student, so I'm in my 5th year, and so I'll be done in around 8 months. And as an international student, I feel like I can give a little bit of insight as to why I decided to join the school, my experience through the undergraduate program, and as well through the graduate course that I'm doing right now. So the reason why I decided to come to Cardiff Uni is basically due to its reputation, and the reputation held strong because when I was looking to find a place of work in 4th year, it was relatively easy because once employers found out that I was from Cardiff Uni, it came with a certain standing, so it was quite easy to find my self-employment just anywhere. And another reason, apart from its reputation, is that Cardiff Uni has an interesting approach to architecture. From my experience, it has that perfect mix between practical, as well a good balance between the practical side of architecture as well as the more design aspect, creative side of it, which is what I was looking for rather than purely just following on one route when it comes to architecture.
Well, thank you for joining us, and I hope you choose Cardiff University and the Welsh School of Architecture.